So ever since picking up the X-T5 here, I've gotten quite a few questions regarding the X100V specifically, the comparison between the two, and why you might want to pick up the X-T5 over something like the X100V. You know, these two cameras are wonderful in their own right. Don't really have a lot of complaints about either one of them, but I do have a favorite, and I think the X-T5 takes the cake for me. I wanted to explain why that is in this video. I wanted to share with you guys why I like this camera so much, why I think it fits in my pocket a little better than the X100V, so to speak, and why I just end up using it a lot more. I feel like this camera just kind of is always around my shoulder, and I want to explain a little bit why that is in today's video. So the thing is with the X-T5, you know, for $1,700 for the body and, you know, a couple $100 for a lens, you're in for almost the same amount as like a brand new X100V nowadays. And believe me, I get the hype. I get the reason X100Vs are so cool. They're so small, they're compact, they look cool, they kind of emulate film. But if you want to do any sort of even borderline professional work, the X-T5 I think is just a much better option for most people. Obviously you have the interchangeable lenses, which is great. And, you know, a lot of people love the limitations of that with the X100V. But, you know, really I just kind of stick one lens on here. I'm using the 50mm right now, but I mainly just use the 23mm lens on this guy. And I love just being able to bring it around everywhere. But if I want to take it on a shoot, I can bring a zoom lens. I can bring so many other different variations of lenses to get what I need. And this guy is honestly a pretty professional option. I'm not saying it's going to be like the end-all be-all option compared to something like an R5 or a GFX. But if you're looking to even do, you know, just mild portraiture or some random portrait shoots every now and again, I do think that the X-T5 overall with, you know, the FPS performance and the dual card slots and the 40 megapixel sensor, you're getting a lot for your money. And I think that's why this camera is one of my favorites right now. And it gets the job done for the most part. So something that's important to consider, especially with the X-T5 comparatively to the X100V, is how portable it is, right? Because most people, they purchase the X100V for sort of a daily carry camera, a camera that can always go with them, it can shoot their daily life. And I think that's the main concern with the X-T5 for a lot of people, is that it's not small enough, right? So here I have the extra grip that you can buy along with the X-T5. And both of these together, yeah, it's a little bigger than the X100V, but honestly, I don't really notice it that much. I think if you're already carrying a camera on your shoulder, having one that's a little bit heavier, it's not really gonna make that much of a difference, to be honest with you. I know some people just love really small cameras, and that's okay. You know, if you want that, then you know what you want. This more is for people out there who are at least a little curious about the X-T5. I really have not noticed the difference too much in the weight of it. This feels more like a Q2, to be honest, versus like an X100V. Especially in weight. But I think with that added size, you know, you do get some features that you don't necessarily get with the X100V. So in my mind, that makes it worth it. Something else that people I don't think talk about enough also is the quality of the EVF on this guy. And the X100V, you know, the EVF is okay. It's much older camera than this, so to be fair, newer camera, newer EVF, it looks better, right? The EVF on this guy, it feels right at home for me. Using the R5, using the GFX. It's nice and crystal clear. It's easy to see things. You can adjust settings. You can really see the different color in here, and to me that is a pretty worthwhile upgrade over something like the X100V. Now when you pair this with some of the other features of the X-T5, it makes it a pretty great option for a daily carry camera. Alright, so overall to me the X-T5 I think is the better choice for how I like to shoot, you know, the kinds of things that I shoot, and overall just like how I like my cameras to feel. The X-T5 ticks a lot more boxes to me than the X100V does. Does that make it a better camera? No, this is my opinion at the end of the day. But to me, the X-T5 just feels like a little bit more of a complete package versus the X100V. I love the interchangeable lenses. I love that beautiful 40 megapixel sensor, the great EDF, the ability to just shoot in a little bit more professional scenarios if I want to. Again, this isn't replacing any of the cameras that I currently have, but it's really nice to add a camera to the roster or to my collection that can still get stuff done if needed. I bring this on portrait shoots. I bring this along to accompany my GFX a lot of the time for BTS photos and stuff like that. And it works perfectly. I love everything that I've gotten out of the X-T5 so far. Now, on the opposite side of things, I can completely understand why everyone loves the X100V so much. It's a wonderful camera. It's so small, it's compact, and I think that's the big reason why people love it so much. But in my mind, you're not really going to notice too much of a difference carrying the X100V versus the X-T5 around your shoulder. I use really light lenses. I just use the f2 lenses that Fuji makes, not the 1.4 versions. So it keeps the system very light, very compact. You can easily take the grip off as well and keep it very nimble and very small. Now, the question is, right, do I think that this camera is like daily carryable? Yes, absolutely. I really love a little bit bigger camera to carry around, and I really don't notice the added weight of the X-T5 as I mentioned. I bring this thing pretty much everywhere with me, whether it's weekend trips, trips to see family, friends, even at parties. I throw on the new flash that I just got for it, which is the XF20. Really sick flash. I've been loving that one so far. I'm excited to dive into that a little bit more, make a proper video about that flash, because I do think it mimics a lot of what we're looking for out of a point and shoot film camera, especially the flash. But case in point, I'm able to bring this camera pretty much everywhere with me, and it really isn't obstructive. It doesn't really get in the way. And that's mainly what I'm looking for out of a camera like this. So both cameras do that job perfectly well. But if you want a little bit of extra added resolution and professional capabilities on top of the X100V, I think the X-T5 honestly is a great choice for anyone out there who's looking to pick up this sort of daily carry camera that can also really function as a lot of other different things. Now, all in all, this is just my opinion, as I said. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm sure there'll be lots of comments and questions and opinions down in the comments. I'll be sure to answer some of those. Really appreciate you guys watching. Thanks so much for taking the time, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. Now, before this video wraps up, I did want to take a moment to thank today's sponsor, which is Squarespace, for sponsoring today's episode. As you guys know by now, Squarespace is a longtime supporter of this YouTube channel and my creative endeavors. And simply put, they are just the best way to make a website for any sort of creative looking to build up their portfolio. Now, Squarespace doesn't just stop at images or galleries. There's many ways to use their website design tools and layout options, everything from e-commerce products to about pages to landing pages for clients to contact you. Squarespace really makes it easy for the modern day creative individual to make a beautiful website and one that stands out. I've been using Squarespace pretty much as long as I can remember over this photography career, and I don't really have any plans on changing anytime soon. Their continued expansion and addition of new features really makes it easy to continue to update your website as the times change over the years. If you guys want to check out Squarespace for yourself, there'll be a link down in the description to receive 10% off your first website or domain purchase. Thank you so much to Squarespace as always for sponsoring this episode, and thanks to you guys for watching. We'll see you next week.